Hello and welcome back to my channel. I didn't intro my last few videos, but I'm gonna do it now since I remember. My name is Destiny Hope, owner of formerly known as Destiny Hope Candles, which I am now Bronze Wick Candles, and which is a very beautiful name. Okay, so today I'm gonna be kind of continuing from my last vlog because I was testing my 2 wick jars, which I finally found a wick for. And I've also tested some fragrances in the last vlog, and I'm gonna test those same fragrances that did well in double wick jars. I'm gonna test them in my single wick jar. So I'm gonna be cleaning these out and stuff like that, showing y'all how I do that, even though I showed y'all in the last vlog. But I'm gonna show y'all again for these, just So I'm gonna scoop these out and clean them and stuff like that, and then I'm gonna test all of my oils that are over here. And I have actually been doing some testing in which 4 or 5 of my scents that I tested work. So the only scent that didn't work, and of course it's always my coconut scents, Synthol and coconut, that's the only one that did not perform well. Everything else did. Facial crystals did okay. I think it was good. It wasn't as good as the other ones, but it was still good. And I'm trying to see, because y'all know I got a whole slab of my wax in, right? I've been considering changing my wax, mostly because I know some people don't really prefer paraffin, even though paraffin candles still sell, it's not a problem. It's just that, I feel like I can kill, like multiple birds with one stone, because I can have people who like whatever candle it is and who don't care. I also have people who actually prefer soy. I can get multiple target audiences in, right? Another thing is, okay, it could be, I don't know, there's a myth going around about everything, and most stuff is food grade paraffin, so it's safe anyway. But some people still consider other things clean burning. So that we could have possibly cleaner burning, I guess, if you believe in that. I don't know. Let's put it to the side, right? Because it's like, oh, if people don't mind, I can use my wax or whatever. So I'm gonna finish the list so I can see. But I'm like, not only with the extra target audience and stuff like that and customers, another thing is at least using a different type of wax. It is a bit more luxurious, that's a bit more luxury. And also the one I found is actually cheaper than the wax that I currently use. And that wax is also supplied by multiple vendors, because y'all know a lot of my stuff is only supplied by one person. So if they discontinue or whatever, I'm out of luck. Or if it's not stock, I'm out of luck. So there's that too. My only thing is I just bought a slab of wax in, and I just tested out a total of 5 fragrances. And so that means I have 8 fragrances, in which was the whole point of me testing, trying to add some more fragrances to my collection. So I now have 8 total scents that work in my candles, and that is a part of my candle line. But then when I switch to wax, is the hot throw still gonna be as good? That's the only thing. I didn't want to test fragrances that weren't gonna be able to transfer over well with another wax. That's my only concern. But I go ahead and just tested them, because I was thinking about selling these candles until I realized I got headaches. And what I realized is probably not even the wax, because that's food grade paraffin, so it's safe. It's mostly just probably the fragrances, and I already have bad sinuses. It's probably just how pungent the fragrances are. And also I've been seeing a lot of research and see that some scents do that, not every scent. So it just depends on what scent does that to you. So, which makes sense, because I wasn't get headaches until I burnt certain scents, and I'm like, what? But yeah, so there's that. But yeah, so there's a lot of pros to cons changing the wax over to the coconut wax that I want to try. Even with switching the wax, at least with the coconut soil or coconut wax, is still known for a good or decent hot throw compared to just straight up soy. So there's that. But the thing is, I have a whole slab of paraffin wax over there. So I'm like, what am I gonna do with that? Because I don't want to waste it. I don't want to sell it, because I did that before. I had something like that, and then I also had my double wick jars. I wasn't using them, sold them, and then ended up being like, you know what? I should have kept those. So I don't want to do that again. So I'm thinking about still using them, at least maybe for the first few scents that I still have in stock using that wax, and I also have labels for. Because the thing is, I need to decide on what wax I want to use, because I can honestly either just use that wax, finish that up, or do half or whatever, then go to the next wax. That's easy. Other than the other con of trying to go over to another wax, especially when I just found the recipe to those double wick jars that I've been testing for 3 years. After I just found those wicks for those jars, I'll be switching waxes, so then I have to retest all over again. Not only fragrances, but wicks, and I may need different wicks. I'm sure I can use Premier, but I still may need different wicks. So that's the only con to that, pretty much. Pretty much is the only main con. But yeah, so I have to choose what wax I want to use, mainly because of when I get labels. Because Avery has the good thing about, say if you buy 100 or 25 label, you can split designs. Other places isn't like that, because they have you order a certain amount of sheets or labels in general for a certain price per design, in which the only place that even sells the label size that I need, honestly, is sheet labels. But you have to buy at least 25 sheets of them. And if I'm gonna be switching waxes, I don't need to have that many. And also, I plan on getting 100 pages, because it starts at like $25 or $26 for 25 pages. And then 50 pages is $27. And then for 100 sheets, it's $28. And I'm like, it only go up $3 for 100 sheets, not 100 labels, 100 sheets of labels, even though that's per design. That's where the thing comes in, because I have 8 candles. So I would have to buy 8 different versions per 100, even 25 sheets, but regardless, still $25. Just $3 more or less. Oh, that's the thing. I have to decide what I'm gonna do, because if I do the paraffin, I need labels to sell to customers for my new fragrances. I can keep with my old labels that I got printed, because I was thinking about doing that, because honestly, I wanted to change my design of my label, or really most of my material of my label, to like a textured white label, in which I may do it in the future. I don't know, but it was just so many concerns about labels, because I really like those labels, but I wasn't really feeling it until I can at least get the vendor that I really want, which is from Alibaba. I was thinking about getting from Avery, but the quality wouldn't have been up to par with what I wanted. So I just decided to wait and not do the texture labels yet. Maybe not even at all. And another thing is, I was thinking either if I do another type of label, then I can't use these, right? And the thing is, even though these, they have my old branding on it, like the Destiny Hope candles, I can still sell these, because that was what my business was before. Because most people still know me as, probably. And also still to get my, materials used. Like, it's the same product and everything else. I just had a rebrand, and we still have old products left. So my label should not be an issue. Now, if I change the label design, then I'll have to get all labels, all designs, all over again. With this one, I at least have 3 or 2 designs with like 100 labels each. I can at least use these. Another thing too is, another thing about changing, there's like 3 different things. There's the texture of the label, there's my business name, then there's also the wax type, in which those say paraffin. So if I change those to a different wax, I can't use those anyway. So that's why I was like, I hope that makes sense, because it is a lot that was going into it, about the label design, the wax change, the name change, wanting to use those so I don't have to buy all different versions of the labels. I can at least have 2 or 3 off that I don't have to buy, and basically the label vendors, because the only person who even has my label size other than Avery, but the printing quality and the template just wasn't adding up with my design, because it's squared off. Theirs is cornered, and also how it just wasn't right for my image. It was cut off, the template and stuff, so it just wasn't right for my labels. Even though they have the best way of splitting your versions, they have the best way of doing it. No one else really does. Sheet labels is like, I think the most least expensive that I found, but I have so many different versions of them for $25+ each. It still adds up. What I've been thinking about doing as well is, at least with the jars, because I have a few things to get right. So I still have, I think, 9 of my apothecary jars. So And y'all remember I was deciding too of where I wanted to use the 10 and the 16 ounce, all three of them, or the 9 and the 10 ounce, at least for right now, because I have that product or those materials in. So I want to get them sold, whether I sell them on D-Stash groups to get the materials out, or whether I make product out of it to get the materials out. So there's that. So I've decided to keep with my single wick jars and then add on the double wick 16 ounce jars later, which makes sense to me. But I was in love with those jars for so long, I really wanted to use them. But realistically, it does make sense for the single wick and then the double wick. And plus, I don't really like how some of my fragrances burn in those when it gets a little bit lower, because the wicks tend to, or at least not even the wicks, the flames tend to prefer one side or flicker to one side of my jar, in which I can show y'all now. It tends to lean on one side and it gets a lot of soot over there. And because I tested these halfway, but I didn't realize how far down it was. So I'm like, I don't really like how some of my fragrances burn when they get to the bottom of that jar, because it's so small. Even though it can do it on the other jar too, at least halfway of that 16 ounce candle will be the legit total weight of my 10 ounce candle. Even with that 16 ounce candle being half full, when it burns, you won't see the wick tabs, you know. And when you do, it'll be obviously at the end of the candle type thing. So not halfway into the candle. So that's why I said, you know what, I'm not gonna use those. But at least I'm able to test my fragrance oil in them, to test the scents and the hot throw and cold throw and stuff. And I can at least test for different wicks and stuff like that, because it's still the same jars, as one is taller. But after I clean those jars out, I'm going to actually use the rest of my materials up here that I have for my jars and just go ahead and make the fragrances that I do have, because as you can see, I have a few fragrances up here, which is my main collection. This is an old one that I had that had too much vanilla, so I can't use it anymore, at least for this wax. Maybe when I do my different coconut wax, maybe, because I thought about that when I was at work today, when I was doing my my business guide booklet, and when I with all my recipes and fragrances and stuff in there and my vendors and stuff, when I was doing that, I was like, I looked at these scents, I'm like, you know what, when I change my wax, maybe the vanilla content won't matter and won't make my candles look like this when I change waxes, because who knows, like this, like that's what vanilla does. And I finally figured out what it was, thank God. So I gotta clean all those out, and then I'm going ahead and make the candles for what I can make. So I had 3 candles per 3 scents. I had 4 scents actually. Those smoked sugar candles over there. Those 3 I had to take out, and I just started testing on. I just started burning on myself. So those I had to take out. So that was a loss of inventory. And with the other 3 of each candles I had, I gave away 2 for testers to friends and family. So I had 2 of, I want to say vanilla oaks. And I had, I think, still 3 of peony petals, or 2 of peony petals, and then I had either 2 or 1 of sweet passion. I can show y'all better when I actually take it down, but I have a few more of each. So I sold some a few days ago, so I finally got some inventory out, because I didn't make any sales last year on my actual products. On my D-Stash group, yeah, and my ebooks and stuff, yeah, but products, no. So this is how far I cut my wick this time, if y'all can see that. The light is not that great in here right now, to be honest. And then you can see that one. See, that's what I mean. So the lower you cut it, the more angle it is gonna be. And then the higher, it'll be less angle. So I guess I shouldn't have to worry about that too much because, of course, you know, making a fresh candle to sell is gonna be a full candle. The thing's heavy. But it's gonna be a full candle and it shouldn't have that bad of an angle. And it's not like that it makes it to where it's frayed like those other ones do. Maybe just because these like wicks are very like wax. They're wax heavy. So with these, they don't really fray apart. So they're still pretty together. They just flatten out a little bit. But yeah, I think that's really good. The only thing I don't like too is that because my lids, you know, I have to reuse lids too. And the scent from the previous testers be on these lids so bad to where it kind of skews what I can smell for the cold throw. So, but we gotta protect them, so it's gonna be what it be. Because you can't really get the scent out of those. We're gonna put our samples back into our bag, even though these, I don't know, you know, anything I can do with these. Maybe for tea lights one day, I don't know, but I just have them to have them at this point. So I was only gonna record these two candles. My phone had died, so I tried to get as much footage as I could before I had to charge it. And I don't charge it here because there's not a long enough charger, I'll be honest. But yeah, so I made 2 out of the 4 candles that I was gonna make. And 2 I was gonna use for like Instagram footage, but I was like, probably not because I'm just exhausted now. So how about my cranberry scent? Right, so I made, what is it? My pink sugar crystal scent and my cranberry scent. And how about when I was making that candle, right? Because I'm making full, this one is still warm. That's crazy. And I made this at 3 o'clock. And it's like, I think 7, I'm not even sure. But yes, I made this one. It is still warm, which is crazy. But I'm making full tests because you know what I said. I'm not going to do the 16 ounces yet because I don't even have none of those jars. Plus, it is added materials. I already have these. And then I'm also going to start with these. And those are more expensive to make and for the customers to buy. So why not have something that is, you know, cheaper option first, you know, before I have expensive stuff. You know, I need to get them to try my brand first, right? So I'm making full testers since I know this recipe already. And I already have candles made like that. You know, I've already been burning some down. Like this is my peach scent that I had. I did a half tester on that and it worked fine. But I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and do some full testers. I got wax to blow. Let's go ahead and make some full testers. So I was gonna make a full tester of this one. This one is still warm too on this side. I was gonna make a full tester of this one too. But guess what? When I went to go grab my little silicone measuring cup, I actually pushed it over. So it actually ended up spilling. So then I was like, you know what? And it happened while my wax was cooling, right? So there's still wax in this picture. So what I had to do was use my half tester recipe, which is the same recipe for those 10-ounce jars, right? So I used my half tester recipe because when I weighed some more fragrance oil to see did I have enough to make a full tester seal. These are 1-ounce samples. I did not. So I had just enough. I had 0.4 ounces left, so I had just enough to make a half tester. So I had to hurry up and divide this in half. Thank God I know the weight of these pictures. This one is 6.4 ounces and the other one is 6.6 ounces. So if I can't tear it, the wax is already in here and it's solid. I just had to put it on there, see what it weighed, and then subtract what the, you know, basically what the thingy does, but I had to do it. Basically, that's what tearing is. Subtracting the weight that you're measuring in so you can get the weight that of the material that you're measuring of. Yeah, basically. So thank God I knew the weights of both of them and which weights go to what. I ended up needing another 0.1 ounce in the other one, so thank God I realized that. Go ahead and put that over. Wait, this one was exactly what I needed for my half candle, so that was perfect. So I ended up still having enough for at least a half tester. It sucks, but at least I had enough for a half tester. So I came in here because I'm gonna cut these, and it pours so nice and smooth. And honestly, when I heated it back up, because you know the temperature dropped too far, I think it dropped to like 170, and I wasn't finna put my fragrance all then. I pour around like 185, high 180s basically. And when I put it back on the stove, it heated up the wax. I heated up the wax to like 233. Did I try to do that? No. I do heat my wax to the 200 though. And it's went past that. I think it's even went to 250 before, and it's been perfectly fine. It doesn't burn or anything like that. So, yeah. But if you, ooh, thank God. If you can see that, it is so smooth in there. And my table rocks, so this one may be a little bumpy. As you can see, it kind of is. And I've tried to do the whole wipe down the jar thing. One, I didn't care about that anyway. I know other people do. I don't. As long as it's not on the like actual top where the lid goes, I don't really care. And also I've tried with a napkin or a finger or my finger or whatever to get wax out these little grooves. All you do is end up just putting an indent or a fingernail print inside the side of the jar. So I don't do that no more. I just let it be what it be. It's gonna do what it do anyway because my wax shrinks anyway, which is why I pour a little cooler anyway to kind of slow it down, but not too cool to where it's too cloudy in my jar like this. I'll go ahead and clip these wicks. And then I don't know when I'm gonna make these, because not only did I say I was gonna make some testers for my new fragrances, I was going, like I told y'all earlier, basically I'm going to make some candles too. And I was like, I got these little small pictures. I'm like, how in the world I'm finna batch make? Because that's gonna be a little difficult, especially trying to do on the stove. I may have to use my melter. That thing is so finicky with temperature. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to get some bigger pour pictures at some point too. But these are easier to pour with, so I sold my other one, and I had a black one because of the status I used to love black from. I think Maxie. I got it from somewhere. It was black, but the shavings would scrape off of the pot and get into your candles and stuff like that, and your wax, because it was like painted. So I don't recommend those at all. Like I said, I'm gonna trim these. I don't know when I'll make this. I don't know when I'm gonna batch make, but at least we got some content coming down. I got 2 videos already on. Then I didn't premiere yet. One comes out on the 18th, and one comes out the week after that on a Sunday. So okay, so I have my full tester burning now. I burnt my half tester last night, and this is how we're looking. So it's a nice little flame here. And what I'm thinking is, because with this one the flame was a bit high, so then I got extra soot here. So what I'm thinking is either it doesn't like testing with, because it does make sense, it doesn't like testing with a fresh wick at the bottom of an encased jar, and or it doesn't like having an angled cut. So then I just went back in with these, relit it. It was better. Just the same with this. I didn't light this one first because I wanted to make sure that, you know, I knew what I was talking about. So I started the burn from the full candle, and I cut it angled again, and I was like, you know what, even though it's cut a little bit shorter, let me just blunt cut it. So I did that, and that's how we're looking with this. There's no extra soot, and the flame isn't just really, really tall. Because this one had a really, really tall flame until I cut it. So that's why I was thinking, I remember a while ago when I first started using this wax, like years ago, when I was making my little videos and whatnot on like Instagram and TikTok, some people were legit getting so mad, like, why'd you cut the wick so short? Like, one, who are you? Hold on. Who are you to tell me how long to cut my wick? If I know what's best for my candle, and there's already a certain length that your candle's wicks should be anyway, who are you to tell me how my wicks need to be? Because I know they burn high, especially, and that was when I was using LX from Candle Science, which were completely ass. And I may have to try LX again, but I will be trying from a different company, Hive and Honey. They did a little bit of research, so I'm going to be trying CD wicks, CDN wicks, Premier wicks, HSPS wicks, and LX wicks again if I have to, because I already have Premier. But I did a little bit of research on Facebook, and I've been seeing some people have been saying that, you know, because different wicks give you different results, and I already have Premier wicks. And I also bought some CD wicks and some Eco wicks, so I can try those too. And the exact ones I have are the exact ones they said to try. Other than CD, I need like CD 7 and up from there. And I got CD 4 to double wick in my 10-ounce apothecary jars. So I already have CD and Eco, but what I've been seeing is that HSPS wicks give it a really, really good hot throw with that cocoa wax. And I'm still going back and forth, like, do I want to? I know I want to change the wax, and I need to, because of the whole one brand thing. Like, I get my wax from one person, that's the only person who sells it. And if they discontinue it or go out of business, God forbid, but or whatever, then what do I do? So even though I can't always just, you know, go try different wax then, but why not go ahead and have the research or go ahead and plan for that ahead of time and just go ahead and change the wax so I can eliminate that altogether. I'm trying to basically see, am I doing too much now? Because I just bought some wax. I made all these testers, and this one is looking like really, really good. Maybe because of how short I cut it, or because I burned it from the top. Because when I burned it from like this half tester, the flame was like really tall until I cut it. So I think my wax just favors like really short wicks. When I go lower one wick, it body extinguishes itself and it never gets to a full melt pool, even half full melt pool. But when I go to the next wick, it just seems like if the wick is a little bit longer, it can be really hot depending on how the candle is. So, but that's the only wick that works for me. But sometimes I can have a tall flame, depending, honestly, I guess it just depends on how tall the wick is cut or how angled the wick is cut. Because those are the wicks that have those are the only wicks that have worked for me. And the flame looks really good. So I'm thinking maybe it's just, I just need to stop doing half testers with these Premier wicks. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know, maybe I just need to cut them shorter. I have no idea, I'm still learning. And I'm thinking too, like, what if I put myself in the same predicament getting the cocoa wax, and especially if I'm still using Premier wicks, then the flame can still be a little weird or wonky. But realistically, I could just try different wicks. But you never know. So I'm like, I don't want to put myself in the same predicament. But at the same time, at least go ahead and eliminate the thing of the one shop wax situation. So the supplier thing. And I can eliminate also the thing in the back of my head of, you know, certain people not wanting to buy, because there are big brands out here and other small brands out here who do really good business and have really good sales and have customers that use paraffin wax, half paraffin wax, half soy waxes. So I don't need to, you know, have soy, but I do know that a lot of, you know, I want not competition, but a lot of other businesses and brands and a lot of customers and, you know, especially the handmade market, because I'm in the handmade market with more expensive candles, they expect something like coconut or soy because of the price of the candles, even though it cost me like $7 to make these candles. So, because I was just asked about wholesale prices, and I used to be interested in wholesale, but I know as of right now, my cost of goods is not set up for wholesale prices right now. So you won't make much of a profit. I won't make that much of a profit either. So I have to wait or change my supplies. But regardless of what I change my supplies or not, because a 10-pound to 12-pound slab of wax still costs no less than $45. So around $45 to $64 for that entire slab. Until I start buying in bulk, or maybe 45-pound cases or something of whatever wax it is, because some waxes are more expensive than others. So I really just went from one expensive wax to another expensive wax, in which I was hoping to use like a 6006 or anything else. That's why I'll be looking at certain waxes too that are, you know, have more suppliers and that are also coconut or soy, but they are a little cheaper. So I think that's why I'll be looking at different brands too. Even though somebody could have, or multiple people could have already told me that, oh, this one works really good, this one works really good. But I always look at this one because of the price point too. And it's still in that same, you know, category. But, you know, I want to F myself up because I don't know if that one works good, because people are praising this one. I don't know about this one, just looking at the price point. But yeah, so once you go for like a cheaper wax, my waxes have just been expensive, and especially with this one, this is a 10.5-pound slab of wax that is a decent price. It's like $24, but shipping it to me makes it like $56.75. Because it used to be $56.15, but it went up a few cents for whatever reason. And then the wax I'm going to is going to still be $50-something. I think a little less, but it's still be $50-something. But the good thing is, at least it'll have multiple suppliers, and I should be able to get the customer base for a handmade market for soy candles and coconut candles. But realistically, especially if I go selling in person, ain't nobody gonna be asking me what type of wax is this. I heard that causes headaches. I heard it's toxic. Nobody's gonna be saying all of that. And that's the market I would prefer, but I also do want to be able to say, you know, even though I would be spreading the whole thing about paraffin wax and stuff, like I would be spreading that by saying clean burning and luxury or this and that. And basically just trying to appease the people who want that specific wax. So that's my only issue. And I was also kind of a little scared because, you know, the flames have been a little bit high from what I've been testing, which kind of scared me. But at the same time, with my full candles, it's fine. With my half candles, it's a little bit taller of a flame for some reason. Maybe I'm not cutting the starting wick short enough. And I'm also thinking too, you know, I would be starting with a fresh wick at damn near the bottom of a jar. So realistically, does that make sense? No. It makes sense to have a, you know, a burnt wick at the bottom. So it's already, you know, some of that fragrance already been pulling up. And I think that's a thing too. I noticed that either with this wax, especially those LX wicks, once you lit them and extinguish them and cut them a little bit, or really you didn't have to cut them, light them, extinguish them, light them again, they'd be fine. Because it used to bring just smoke trails. But they will be fine after just extinguishing them and then burning them again. Crazy, but that's what, you know, I was using that technique for. So when I made all those candles, I'm gonna link the video up there. That's why I didn't sell those candles. And what I ended up doing was just, I think what I did was I just burnt those candles for myself. And I also did remelt them and put them in different candles to test different wicks on them. So that's pretty much what I did with all those candles.